fuck is what I'm looking for.
Oh, we're live. How we doing, everybody?
We had some technical difficulties.
It was my fault. It's okay. You know, it's our first one where the show cuts off by accident. That's all me. Everybody come back. Okay. All right, let me go and share everything back on again. Don't worry, we're back. Oh, let's put Raider Man back on. All right, hold on. We're trying to get everybody back on. We had a little technical difficulties. More so my fault.
More so?
That's not it.
More so my fault. Let's get everybody back. Let me go and share again to everybody out there.
Sad was out there following the wrong buttons. That's not it.
It was just,
You got to touch the right shit.
Yeah. and you got to do it just the right way, too, because if you don't...
That's not it. It's so close to Father's Day.
I'm trying to share again to all the groups. Yeah. So we're back. My sound had went out and I was trying to reset it and I hit the wrong button where I refreshed the whole thing and it cut out the feed. But we're back and I know we probably had 10 viewers at the moment. So just find us. I'm sharing it back on all the Facebook pages.
Come over, children. All are welcome. Sam hit the wrong button.
It was my first interception.
Come back to the stream. We only hit the wrong button.
My bad. I hit the wrong. My first interception. Okay, so okay. Everything's shared. Look at that. See, we're going back. We got 6 viewers. All right.
We're going back up. We're going back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, man, they already know what it's like. We just stalled in a few minutes to let them get back in the huddle, man.
All right.
Huddle up.
Yes. Come back. You know, OTAs for us too, okay? OTAs for us too, all right? So
I think we're a little bit past OTAs, though.
Yeah, but hey, we got an off season too, okay? We're still going. Other shows are taking a break because they can't find things. We continue to bring the content from, like Raider Man said, from Real Raider fans to
Real Raider fans.
For Real Raider fans. There you go. Now, let's go back. Let's rewind. We're all here, kind of. Rewind.
You said rewind.
Nice going, Quado.
Bueller. Okay.
Hey, look, I wanted to drive this point home because this is actually pretty important. We were discussing before the stream dropped about Darren Waller and his experience with the Raiders and his bouts and his struggle with his fight with sobriety. And I really wanted to just send some good wishes out to that brother because, you know, it's easy for people to get on a microphone and talk about. But just like with Asylum sharing his personal testimony with his travails, just life struggles, people don't know where other people are with that. You know, that's an illness. Well, and my father, God rest his soul, when he passed, he was 17 years clean and sober. So, you know, he didn't have any tabloid writers and, you know, people beating down his door and trying to get information and targeting him to keep him and his mental off of what you got to have is one day at a time. And people don't really respect that in a lot of ways. And
I'll tell you this much. And this is what people, if you've been through it, more power to everybody. I mean, it's not easy. It's a fight every day. Like I said, I got 19 years. Okay. And it does not necessarily get easier. You got your good days and you got your bad days. Like I said, I didn't have people in my ears. I've had people in my ears, actually. I did have people in my ears trying to break me down and shit. Not like he does. And, you know, your mental fucking health, all that other shit that comes with it. It's a fight every day. You wake up fighting every fucking day. It is. And I hope I'm with you on there. I hope he stayed sober. I hope, didn't go. But that's the kind of shit that leads to your other shit. Yes, right. He retired. It's probably something that did affect his relationship.
Oh,
Because,
absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know,
Because
it,
the issue with the relationship is that you're never really yourself.
no,
And that's why
you might
I
not
pray for
understand.
the person. Because people want
You
to
might not
attack the
understand.
affliction and they don't even understand what the affliction is. What my father taught me through his sobriety program is that a lot of like alcoholism in itself is more like an allergy. It's like an alcohol allergy. And people don't understand how it affects people. It affects everybody individually. And people write off this guy's story. And that's what I was going to with him. It's not so much that it was being compared to Max as much as in my mind's eye, it was being clumped in with Max. It's like it's not enough room for my story to grow because he had to grow in his own right. And he didn't have the support system that Max had. He didn't, it's not you like you're not dealing with some cookie cutter people here. It's not just some image of, oh, this guy with this intoxication disease. We don't really know what that person's affliction is. And then, like you said, when you couple that with the affliction of football, a sport that human beings weren't born to play, and then you couple that with national notoriety and more or less trying to show heirs for people that you don't even know. And in my mind's eye, where I'm going to it with us as Raider fans, or the dilemma with what I call Raider national media, is the people who are doing this media aren't even Raider fans. So they don't feel for this team the way they feel for it. I don't give a shit how long you've been doing it. I hear people, they got to keep throwing out there every two say, I've been doing this shit this long. I've been doing this shit this long. If you're a father, you got to come in the house and keep saying, I'm the father around here. I'm the father around here. You ain't the
You ain't
father around here. You know what I'm saying?
If
And
you
so
gotta
it's like,
if you gotta remind everybody, then you ain't what you think you
I'm
are.
talking about beat motherfuckers over the head, man. And it's sad because Raider Nation is so much more than that. But there's obviously somebody at the head of it that's trying to control people, and they're trying to control this entity. And I think that comes out in the wash with a player like Waller, because real Raider Nation would have cared on that man. It wasn't for Max to babysit him. In a lot of ways, people can nitpick about how DC should have kind of did things that I might or may not say, or I may or may not feel about that relationship. But the bottom line of it is that person they have to get the love that they need to survive that one day at a time. And I know that real Raider Nation would have been able to be there for a guy like that. We had a lot of players in our ilk, the Grady Jacksons, and God bless it. I know people go trigger happy when you say a name like Barrett Robbins, but
Well,
Barrett, I like to
Barrett
believe it
Robbins,
was my friend.
Barrett
Barrett.
Robbins. Now he had the whole bipolar, which is something I know a little bit about. Not
But
because I have it.
wait. Before I don't even want to like free label his, because people will always throw that label on that with him, but
It,
nobody has ever really
it no,
said what happened.
no, no,
And
no.
I think that's a
I'm not
travesty
going on.
because that
I'm not.
man,
Hold on. I'm not going saying what happened. He was diagnosed with bipolar.
right.
That's
But I'm saying
that's
that's
all
the
I'm
one
saying.
thing that's the answer that they threw out to justify everything that happened.
No,
That's what
no,
I'm
that's
saying.
not what I'm
I
doing. But
don't
that's
think
not what
that
I'm
part
doing.
is right.
No,
Because if
that's not what
anything, they should have discussed his bipolar condition going in. Raider Nation,
no,
not like we wouldn't understand. Shit, we might have some bipolar motherfuckers
no,
on the team right now. That wasn't like a
we probably
disease.
do. We
But
probably
the
do.
thing that happened to him that made him spin out like that wasn't just him spinning out. That was some shit that happened to him.
But you have to remember, when that happened to him, bipolarism was not known. Just like Reggie White, when he died, nobody knew about sleep apnea. Okay, there's some shit that we don't know being diagnosed with and going. I mean, I'm just gonna bring up. You have John Matuzak, who was big, knowing what was going on. Ted Hendricks, another guy who partied and everything. Ken Stabler drank like a fucking fish, But when it comes to Barrett Robbins, we didn't know anything about bipolarism at the time. Yes, going in, there's a lot to do with it. I'm not taking away from anything. I'm just saying his issue is different than an addiction. Is where
Well,
I
I'm
was going.
saying, I'm saying this, like literally, and this is just in case B. If you out there and you happen to fuck around and see this stream or a clip of this shit get cut, this your friendly neighborhood, this your friend Akeem. You know, you might not remember me specifically. I'm the one that you was pass blocking to get to third base. No, you was at first base. But anyway, you tried to keep me from going to second base when we was doing the softball games when the Black Hole was playing against the rookies. That was the year we greeted Gruden in. This is all the way back to '98. My only reason I'm saying all this shit is these people. Like, say for instance, we as Raider fans, I think we get a really unique engagement with our players that's not typical of other organizations in this league. And with that kind of access to people, see, for me, this is deep. I'm not even talking about like diagnosis and shit. I'm just talking about people. Because I could say the same thing about like Jano when Janikowski was here and shit like that. Because it's the same time frame. But to have people in these places, there's so many fucking fans that's able to create fan bases, and I think that's kind of like the Jermaine way that all that shit was created. You know, Cliff's Corner and the Wiz Zone, and all these, because we love these people. We want to hold these people up and give them that big hug that they need to carry them through. Let them know we really see them. I think in this propagated Raider Nation, this push to sell Raider Nation, that heartfelt fellowship got lost somewhere. So these players, fans are now kind of chasing these players in ways that Raider fans had never done before. All these new collectors and want memorabilia and, hey, I'm a season ticket holder and I got this and I got this. It's like almost like a new level of ownership. And I think it's pushing the lines for where a lot of these players are able to find the humanity in this thing anymore. Everybody can't be that robot, that typical just go out there and just shut up and dribble or shut up and play motherfucker. Everybody can't do that. And perhaps Mr. Waller just wasn't one of them. Barrett, I know we were talking about him, but I hold a special homage for him because regardless of what happened as far as like the bottom line or like the telltale story of that, nobody but B and God will ever truly know or be able to say what happened to make him spin out like that. And I think that's the part that really rubs me, because that person went through so much, and his story kind of gets diminished from that excellent player and then their perennial all-pro, only held out of the Pro Bowl all those years because of the stellar play of a Kevin Mawai and shit like that. When people wasn't really trying to give us the attention, we were creeping up on the league at that time. We knew that team because we were watching that team. They didn't know Barrett Robbins. We knew Barrett Robbins. That was our brother. And then to see that shit tailspin like that, it broke my heart. It hurt me. I hitchhiked my ass out there with Rob all the way to fucking San Diego to be there to, do the not host the parties, but to help JT, bring that Raider Nation, bring that Black Hole energy to the parties out there, to the Gaslight District and all that shit. Rob called my ass, 5:30 in the morning. Raider man, turn on fucking that four-letter network, check this out. You never fucking believe this. And that's some shit that I can never imagine. Somebody I'm standing right next to, talking shit with, having beers at the fucking airport Hilton and, back to back. Almost got in a bar fight with fucking Barrett Robbins. You know what I mean? Like, you get to know people, and then all of a sudden it's just taken away, and this person's life spirals out, and then there ain't shit you can do for them. So I just wanted to say, just for the record, every fan don't look at it as succinctly, because like with your situation, my pop situation, when you watch soldiers go through and grow through afflictions and shit like that, when you next to them stories ain't that easy to just tell and shit and get off the pot. That shit means something, and those stories need to be told because they there to help other people when they fall into their dilemmas.
Some people forget these football players are people first.
Right. They forget. They think this shit is entertainment, man. These motherfuckers juggling families, and most of them not even really competent to even be able to be in that position, and nobody really knows. But we as a fan base, we as the Black Hole, that's what this shit was about. We wanted to insulate our players. We want King Al to know, hey, we here on this front wall to make sure that your players, your prime commodity, know that we got their back. We there for them, period, in every way. You out there in the streets, some motherfucker getting a little bit too close to you. Hey, you want this out of hey man, chill the fuck out. We always policed our own. You know, motherfuckers unruly understand the shit, but they don't understand. That's why I started that. We started the whole Raider chant getting out our team. It wasn't this whole mamby-pamby ass, kiss ass, you know, oh, cause I'm in the town, I holler and everybody holler back. Nobody knew what the fuck that was. We were calling these sorry motherfuckers out. Like on the Warriors, like on the movie. We clapping the fucking bottle. Raiders, come out to play. You know, we was sticking up the fucking joint to come through all of that. You know, get next to these people, build camaraderies, build relationships. You know, think about the access of a Max Crosby and his family and how that insulation is like it's built in now. It's a machine now. But all of the people that's benefiting from it had nothing to do with building it. Now they're doing a great job of kind of keeping it going in that regard, but the reverence for the brand ain't being upheld. And that's just my opinion. I may not be one sole entity crying out into the lonesome universe with my little, you know, solidary cry. But I encourage any motherfucker to get in the chat. Do you miss real Raider Nation? You miss that feeling like, you know, we were talking about in the beginning of this shit with Coach AP. This unknown, this motherfucker that never ever coached on a professional level and before in his life, as if nobody ever had a fucking rookie start. Like the rest of these coaches in this damn league didn't start somewhere, but they
No,
never played at his level.
you mean like
They
the
never
Al
seen what he's
Davidson
seen.
or the John Maddens?
And
The
where do these
great,
motherfuckers come from, right? And they act like this is not Raider way. But to come in with the homage for King Al, to come in with the respect for Raider Nation, to come in with the real. Do you realize how embarrassing that is for me to know that Antonio Pierce, as young as he is in silver and black blood, he bleeds silver and black harder than that propagated ass, bullshit ass, diluted shit that's going down in Vegas right now? He is the roar of the Raiders. In a lot of ways, he should be. He the coach and all that shit, but he had nothing to do with creating that. He's doing his best as an outsider to bring that shit back. And the motherfucker that's supposed to be doing it can't hold it up. That's what I'm talking about. Where the motherfucking heat at? We need the charcoal briquettes in the middle of the fucking fire to get the heat to cook these fucking ribs. You know, we got to
low
get
and
the
slow is
inside of the
what
meat
it
to
is.
a certain temperature for this shit to taste right, man. And they can't
Low and
do it where
slow.
they at.
Low and slow. That's what it is. When you
It's
barbecue,
just
it's
like
low.
they got it, man. They gotta. I've said what I need to say as many times as I can. You know, I think the person who had the deepest conversation, I had the deepest conversation with brother Raider Homer. Shout out Dougie. You know, hoping everything was good with you and the fam. But that brother, man, you know, we met through Rob Howard. We met out there. You know, my mentor called me out to Vegas. I was doing some stuff for the Black Hole, and you know, when I'm in the town, I got to go see my dog. I can't pop up and not go see my family. And I met Raider Homer, and you know, happened to walk in on a conversation with. Matter of fact, Sav was there.
I
That's
was
that.
there.
Yeah. Matter of fact, yeah. See, so Savage can have this conversation better than me.
That was
I actually prefer you have it because I don't know if I tell it right.
that was the draft when we drafted Leatherwood. We were up at the Raider Rob Howard of Raider Fan Radio was doing
Is
his
that the
show
Rio? I think, rather the Rio, something like that.
at the Rio. Him,
Yeah,
Stoner Dude, and Black Hole Steph.
yeah.
They were
I
doing
met
their
Puppet
live.
that night.
Yep, we were doing the live, or they were doing the live show.
God damn it.
They were doing their live show about the draft. That was the year we drafted Leatherwood, so that was a 2021. 2021.
It was
I
all a
believe.
blur.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it was 2021. Yeah, and we were invited to go over. So me and Homer went over there to the Rio, and you were there. Part of the I still got video of basically behind the scenes of that whole video. And yeah, we were just up there talking about Raider Nation and who's really representing us and everything. And Homer learned the lesson from Raider Rob. So to just do you, to just do you and do what you do. Don't worry about anybody else, because if they're coming after you and trying to take what you did, that means you're doing something right. And I was there.
Respect to Homer, dog.
I took notes too. I said, yeah, that's on this show. We know people go, certain people, specific people go and take our ideas, and it's cool because we come up with more ideas. If we got to feed everybody and teach them Raider history and all that, that's what we're here. That's why we have this show, because we hear it word for word what we say. We hear it on other people's right after, and we know it's coming from here because they go and comment on a show that we're on, and then they use what we said word for word on their show, like they're the prophet. Oh, I had this amazing thought, and we're just like, yeah, well, you're welcome. We appreciate that you use the knowledge from this show and you take it with you, because that's what we're doing. So yeah, we understand. We understand, and that's what Homer. That's what we all learned is you do what you do, because if they're copying you, you're doing something right. And like you said, Raider Man, if they're trying to copy what we do, Matt Millen. This is a Hondo story. Hondo said Matt Millen said every other fan base thinks they're part of the organization. The Raiders, the Raider Nation, they know. And the Raider players who wear the silver and black currently know that the fans are a part of the organization. Mark Davis had Violator and Gorilla light the torch for Raider Nation. So he knows the Raider Nation. We are a special fan base that other teams and other organizations from other sports, they try to, I don't want to say emulate, but they try to imitate. They want to be like us.
They're literally trying to imitate. It's true. But the sad part about that is, well, I don't know, it's almost kind of flattering in a sense. I've learned to try to look at it that way because it's painful. Personally, you feel shunned. I feel like I was used. I feel exploited in a lot of different ways. I can only imagine what Raider Rob feels. But you love it so much. And all you really care about in a lot of ways, where I kind of channel my inner stoner dude. But, I really want for this art to get out to the world. I want young fans to be infected with this Raider Nation spirit. The issue for me, and this is a personal, so speak on it however you feel it, but for me, the money that's caught up in this machine that is multimedia could be like generational wealth changing for a person like me. It's not going to be bank breaking anything, but it's definitely a career. And to know that it's like how they use the athletes in the sports arenas. This primetime athlete was out there on the field doing this thing, and we got to know him for this, but he belongs here as a color commentator. He belongs part of this. He was a primetime Pittsburgh player or whatever. So of course he's going to do the Pittsburgh games, Big Link, got brought in with the Raiders, to be a color analyst or whatnot for the team and whatnot in the capacity, because a player, a prime player, and somebody that's germane to the spirit of the team is supposed to be in that space.
Greg Papa.
Raider Nation Radio is the only space in the Raiders organization that's not being run that way. It's like they decided who they wanted to run it. And again, this might sound like I'm not taking shots at anybody's job, because they do what they do. I'm no journalist. I could do it. I could do that job, but no different than a pastor. I respect every pastor. I don't walk into a church saying, "Oh, I can preach that better than them." But I came bringing my energy to this church, and that pastor can't duplicate my energy. And so to have a great service, to have the spirit in the house, you got to have all those entities going together. And I know how to create that, which is why I help create that. And that's why it's missing, because the people that help create that aren't involved. And I challenge Raider Nation to stand up and speak on what's real, because this ain't about attacking people's positions and all that kind of stuff and professions and all. I'm no hater. I don't give a fuck about that. But to be diminished as an entity, you won't call me Raider Man and all this shit or whatever. But then if I'm not kissing your ass and doing shit your way, you kind of low talking me and propagating other things, and you never give me the prop or never even give a motherfucker a shot, especially to a person that got free shot to get here. you know, you get dropped off in the middle of the fucking Raider Nation, big badass Raider Nation. You didn't come out here alive, but you become the fucking king of the village like fucking C-3PO. But it take Luke Skywalker to come in there and tell you, just tell these motherfuckers it's gonna be cool. I'll lift the shit for you. You really can't do no tricks. All you can do is sit on that damn throne. But it don't matter. You make the fucking act happen, because that's what makes the movie go cut. But they being selfish, and you got people that shouldn't be doing that, and to me, it's costing the brand. I honestly, I feel like that, because no day is guaranteed. Lord forbid, one day Raider Man gonna be dead. What they gonna do? Be playing cut to the fucking Raider Wolf all over the place? Oh yeah, we really love Raider Man, but you ignoring me while I'm alive.
We're doing it while you're alive, so
That's why I appreciate you guys, man. I love you, because and it's only so many people that's done that. Brother Mob Boss, he did that. He walked through the fire shit. He was calling out the Raider Rob, and he was hearing the conversations, because Rob wasn't ready to do that. Fuck all that. I ain't doing no more step and fetch it. But to me, that opened up an opportunity for me, because I took that invitation. I was invited out to Raider Nation Explosion 3, and I got to see the power of Eminem Productions and everything that they do. And I haven't done everybody, but I love everybody that's been willing to work with me. But that's who Raider Man is. Raider Man is the man on the street. Shit, since the shit beginning, they made a little styrofoam microphone and put that shit in my hand, and I was the motherfucker out there interviewing the kids and all that shit. Now you see everybody popping up. I don't want to throw names, because I just shade some people, because it's a lot of people doing it. Some of them I've met, and they actually show out me. They're like, "Hey man, Raider Man, I know who you are. Appreciate that." But they the one that's out there, funded by whoever. They get the special favors, or they got their own money, or whatever the case may be. But if Mark Davis want that, he got the money to be able to afford that, because Raider Man ain't hard to find. Raider Man to do this shit, man, I wouldn't do it for free, but I'm saying I've been doing it for free. Everybody else in fucking contracts, you earn what you produced. Look at Raider Nation now. Raider Man don't deserve shit. Raider Rob don't deserve nothing for what we doing. I know your brand would be better if we was involved. But instead, it's almost like colonizers. Fuck that. You take this brown money and you use it.
Instead, you sit here on the cage match.
That's why I love cage match, man. I can run across the ring a couple of times and smash into the turnbuckle. He come off the ropes and shit, clothesline the shit out of one of you motherfuckers. Get your point crossed. I'm a George Animal Steel motherfucker. I'm gonna eat the fucking styrofoam off the turnbuckle.
Yeah, and that's why, because you have there's a lot of podcasts out there and a lot of shows that if you don't follow the opinion that they have, well, no, you don't know what you're talking about. No, but see, if you have an opinion, you say it, but have like tell me why. Like,
yeah, it's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah, Asylum keeps telling me a story when you guys were talking about Justin Fields, and you asked him, okay, well, tell me why you don't want Justin Fields on the team, and he gave you a reason, and you said, okay, well, you're the first person that had something to tell me, and not just say whatever they say out in the media, out in the radio, out on the streets or whatever. You actually gave me a reason. I might not agree, but I can agree to disagree. But at least you gave me something to think about.
Right.
Not just, I don't want this guy because he sucks. Well, why does he suck? Because he's not good. Well, why is he not good? Because he's garbage. Well, why is he garbage? Because he sucks.
Well, look at his statistics. Because honestly, and that's a great point, because look at it now. With Justin Fields being over there in Pittsburgh, a lot of tabloids, or a few tabloids, oh, he's struggling and camp and all that shit. They're throwing a lot of arrows. You really don't know where to come up on that, but it's not our problem. And ultimately, we get a chance to watch it work out in the wash, but it ultimately ended up just a great conversation. And all of the points were valid. Nobody was wrong. But I just don't understand this new age and how this is permeating Raider Nation of people that feel like they can control each other's thoughts and bully each other into what they say and all the rest of that kind of bullshit. This cancel culture ass bullshit fucking attitude. And I just
That's
don't
because we
accept it.
old. That's
I
because
don't
we old.
accept that shit. That's not fucking Black Hole. That's not Raider Nation. So, for all you motherfuckers that's doing that and then turn around, it's only one nation. You the problem.
That's because there's too many of the wrong mindset out there with a platform
Yeah.
where they just spit out propaganda and not actual critical thinking. Tell me
Yeah.
why, though. And like
But
what you were saying
Rhino
earlier,
said it best. Rhino said it best. You got this new age of fans who are trying to get famous or known for all the wrong reasons.
Oh,
yeah,
dude. And you know what? I thought it was creative in what he did there. 'Cause I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I thought it was poignant because he used the term "new era," and I actually heard in the grapevine that that's the term that they're actually going by. They're considering themselves the new era of Raider Nation, and like even that in itself isn't like authentic, Shit, what about the hat people? I hope the motherfuckers come back and come sue them for their name. Because New Era been around for a long time. But we don't need a new era. We just reestablishing. The Raiders organization, in my mind's eye, is this. When I was a kid, people like my daddy, God rest his soul, he was a punk ass Winers fan. And he used to always throw shit at me, saying, you root for them traitors, them traitors. I can still hear him in my voice, them traitors. I'm like, man, we had two for you suckers even knew what to do. And we've been loaning y'all favors until y'all got y'all shit together. Now y'all disrespectful. Y'all boy going to jail for y'all ghetto ass tricks. You know what I'm saying? We doing our best to establish. We like E.F. Hutton, man. When we talk, people listen. There's a difference. There's a respect factor. And the difference is the Raider Nation, this new generation, isn't being taught to pay homage to the people that brought him here. There was something that led to this. These people were like in business. I'm gonna get close to this person so I can have access to this. I can do this, so I can do this. And then, I've actually heard people tell me like this is a business model. I created this character to do this shit for a while and do my business, and then I'm gonna break off in like 5 years and go rebrand and go do something else. And whatever, you business savvy and that's cool. But this shit was created for you to be able to do that by people who live, breathe, eat, sleep, and shit this. This was never a fucking money grab for any of us. This was our lives. This was our families. Some of us don't even have fucking families,
I never started this shit fucking money.
But that's just the truth. And those are the people that are running Raider Nation now. Those are the people that we stuck listening to on the fucking radio and shit like that. People that's only in this shit for their own personal interests, to build their own personal platform, to build their name. They think they're entitled. Oh, look at me. Look how long I've been doing this and all this and this shit. And every year you say that is just proof of how long you've been robbing the fucking people that you claim you love so much. Ain't never did a motherfucking thing for Raider Nation in any way, shape, or form. And it's just like I can speak on it because shit, I was there from the beginning. I remember in 1997, actually in 1998, when I got a copy of NCAA 1997. You know what I'm saying? Because I would call in on the radio and but I wasn't calling for the little trinkets and shit like that. I was calling because Raider Black Hole Rob said we need to support this guy. Let's help this guy get this shit going and blah 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 blah. There's pictures on me. All of a sudden, they putting the camera right in my fucking face. All of a sudden, we on inside the NFL and all this shit. It wasn't that person. It was me. But motherfuckers say, oh, yeah, I know this person, but you never do a motherfucking thing for that person. You don't even have enough humanity in you, not even enough, like, man, not enough dignity to, like, call this motherfucker, hey, I appreciate you. How you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Just as simple. How you doing? How's life treating you?
You build your whole shit off of me getting shot in the fucking chest. But now, then 30 years later, you try to make it sound like, oh, look at me. I'm just this philosophical philanthropist. I just go around visiting poor street urchins who've been shot in the fucking chest. It was Raider Man. That's how you building your shit. Raider Man fucking missed shot. Everybody went crazy. Yeah, I'm still Raider Man, Raider Man. But that don't mean shit to you. I was your friend then, but you don't even give a fuck how your friend doing now. That shit tells all, man. That's the real black hole. That's real Raider Nation. And these motherfuckers don't even give a shit what that is. That's why I'm hoping to God that, like, the real entities of the Raiders, I'm hoping that Coach AP, Max Crosby see this, new team leaders, there's people on that team that'll do something about this shit. And I'm hoping it trickles all the way up to Mark Davis so they can take this clip in and I can say this. Mr. Davis, my name is Akeem Henderson. I am your friendly neighborhood Raider man. I've been trying to knock down your door since your daddy was here. I got a handwritten letter that I wrote to him back, in late 1990s. He helped me get a job through some gentleman in your head human resources department. His name was Ben Stuckert. I remember his name. It was written on my paper. But I say all that to say I feel like I was being put in position to help propagate this team, this organization. I was put in a position to be the bullhorn of this team. The job that I accepted was on 2nd and Oak in Oakland. That's Jacqueline Square. That just happens to be about 5-6 blocks from where they were throwing what they called the Raider rallies. They used to do. They started off doing these Oakland Raider rallies, and JT the Brick was he was the one. I don't know if it was his idea or not, but it was under him. JT the Brick, Oakland Raider rallies, and all that kind of shit. And literally, I'll speak on this. I was the first motherfucker to show up around there. I was pattern my whole fucking day. I'm right down the street. I couldn't wait to walk down the street. Didn't have a vehicle at the time. Sometimes I'll be walking home or, hop BART or whatever the fuck, But it was a difficult time. It was always a challenging time. But I say all that to say that you use these stepping stones to be on this pedestal that you consider yourself on now. And I just think that's ludicrous as a human being to do that shit to people when you claim to be a man of the people. Back that up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody stop hiding behind these social media fucking platforms and shit like that can't be done. But because everybody want to get close to the one they think is in charge, the one they want to prop up, the one that they think can get them the best business deal, Raider Nation is suffering. Now, fuck it, because I'm bitching about me and my circumstances, my situation. But I know damn well my platform handles not only mental illness, but childhood afflictions. There's a fellowship issue. There's a fellowship foundation to Black Hole life, to Raider Nation life. It's not all about canned goods and donations and selling goods and shit like that. It's not all about merchandise. Even though that's a part of it and that shit can make money and circulate, this is supposed to be a family thing. This is supposed to be our lifeblood. And it's being taken away from us by people that's not even fucking Raider fans. And all these people who claim to be so-called hardcore Raider fans and originals ain't even fighting. So, I break the huddle on that. All I can say is, we are the voice of this team, and that'll never die. Yes, there'll be new voices that'll come along, but if you don't want the next generation raised in buffoonery and exploitation, then realize that we have an obligation to truly learn to communicate with each other. I'm pushing and I'm advocating the propagation of cage match. Of course, I could be pushing my own brand because, Raider Man from Richmond podcast is going to be doing this thing, but we better together. This is the heart of the black hole. This is the family, and there's a lot of demons that can be exercised from this space, and it's not about pride. So I like to be the first to make an example of that and use my superpowers where they help the best. It's not about beating out my brothers for a spot in prime time social media. It's about bringing real Raider Nation back to where it belongs. And number one, So, for everybody that's really about it, let's do it, man. Let's get this shit together because we're gonna actually have some communications about how we can step up to the entertainment value and the informational content and just the true feel for what the black hole and what true Raider Nation is for listening audience, viewing audiences, and we want to see just how many people we can touch. hoping to be in the hundreds of thousands and millions, in a couple of weeks. Hey, Mark Davis, I guarantee you, your shit shoot through the roof. You get us involved.
I'd love
That's
to
what we're
hear from
trying.
Mark Davis and get us involved. Fuck yeah.
I have connections that I'm trying to use to try to infiltrate Allegiant Stadium. So did I say too much? I don't know. I didn't have my tinfoil hat on. So
But we'll
I
have
heard
more
what I
boots
said.
on the ground soon. That might be saying too much too. So consider it an official threat.
Ooh,
Well,
he's
we have
putting
a
it out there.
coach. We have a coach. We
I
have a
can't help
coach
it, man. I'm your friendly neighborhood. I'm doing my best to keep this shit diplomatic. But,
Well,
Raider
we
Nation
have a
always been Raider
coach.
Nation, man. Motherfuckers don't fit on the boat. They tend to walk the plank.
We have a coach that is, in the eyes of the NFL, unconventional. He's not like us. He's not, PC. They're, that's how they feel.
Sounds
have
a
a
lot
coach.
like this guy right here, John Madden.
Yeah. All the other coaches, especially back then, coaches, pea coats and suits and everything. And John Madden had his shirt tucked in to the best until he started trying to jump up, and his lanyard with all his credentials all over the place, and
They look like
smoking
a
a
slick
cigarette.
watermelon. He says, get out of there.
Yeah.
He does.
Smoking a cigarette in the sideline in the middle of a game.
He had that 1.5 inch vertical, baby. Untouchable.
and that's what we're going back to. And a lot of folks are probably like, oh, that old Raider way doesn't work anymore. That's a whole different league. That's not
bullshit.
the same NFL we're in anymore. But you know what? We're gonna see. We're gonna prove it. We're gonna show it. They say that AP, like Asylum had said earlier, that they try to say he's a rah-rah guy. But if you listen to all the reports from camp, he's out there and he's just watching. He's letting his coaches coach their players, and he's watching and he's observing. He's not out there blah 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 blah. He's just sitting there with his hoodie on, and he's watching. And he's
Hey,
watching.
I want to be
everyone's
first
doing.
right here on the cage match, Sav. I want to offer you something that we're gonna take this and run with. Let this be my first Raider Man assertion to the show. But I've been working on something. It's a segment. I don't know if we might be able to make this into a segment, and we can call it "Who in the fuck are they?" Because that's always been I don't know. They call it the pet peeve or whatever, but a lot of the multimedia that's run are on like generic and cliche kind of broad statements. And it's all about truth telling now or truth showing, put a motherfucker on blast. So I would propose, like say for instance, it was easy to name Mr. Lombardi for some of the shit he say. I want to propose just like in the same ilk you do the graphics. Let's put some of these motherfuckers on blast in these statements that they make. We want to know who are they, because I really just believe that they word don't hold as much weight as we put on it. And if we were to be able to encapsulate that shit into a segment that we can shoot the motherfuckers down like bottles off the fence, like, yep, he was wrong, he was wrong, he was wrong, he was wrong. I think it'll go a long way to reforming how Raider Nation is trying to consume this mass media. Because they feeding us this bullshit. It's like, okay, this unconventional way of playing. It's called original football. What's unconventional about original football? That's an idiotic statement. That's an oxymoron. But people are floating that out there. It may be an old way, but it don't mean anything is outdated. It just means people ain't doing it. If somebody was to run the wing T back right now for a year, them motherfuckers could probably win the fucking Super Bowl. They did that shit with that whole whatever they were doing with Cadillac Williams and all the motherfuckers were just running quarterback shit. The game runs and ebb and flows like that. There are new ideas. Everything's been run before. It's just when you choose to run it. What Coach AP is bringing back is smash mouth football. And you do that shit right, that's called winning football, because that's the game of football. That's how the game was intended to be played. They're changing the rules, yeah, but there's ways to circumvent those rules, especially if you smash the shit out of a motherfucking quarterback. Now we almost there at cracking the code. People don't want to give us credit for it. We the only motherfuckers that make Patrick Mahomes cry in his fucking, in his beer on the sideline like that. Nobody else has ever seen his face look like that on the fucking sideline. Coach AP did that. And yeah, he's working in concert with Patrick Graham, but now he's added in a Joe Philbin. He's added in a motherfucking Marvin Lewis. He get a consultation from Tom Coughlin and shit like that, man. Coach AP ain't giving credit for like just the human capability of being able to grow. What about the development of the human being that he is? He ain't no fucking fledgling coach no more, man. That motherfucker coached 9 games last year. That dude is a veteran coach coming into his fucking 10-year year. He came in as an interim because the motherfucker that was out there before was inept. And don't nobody want to admit that shit. That motherfucker didn't know a damn shit from Shinola, and all he did was push our organization back a few years. And he almost ruled Nathan O'Connell.
It was said that when McDaniels got the job, he was so worried about getting fired that he would do he was insecure about being a head coach. Even though he came to be a head coach, all he kept thinking about is, I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna get fired. And you see how he play. It's like you're playing football. And you're like, oh man, I'm gonna get hurt. I'm gonna get hurt. I'm gonna get hurt. And then
you get hurt.
Well, I mean, that's like they say, like a cop. When you get ready to retire, don't start reaching for that vest now because you finna get shot. It's like that in real life. And the real villain in that whole situation was Mark Davis. Because that son of a bitch should have never been hired in the first place. So, I said this earlier in this podcast, but, Mark learned from his mistakes. He literally, fessed up. He paid the bill, say, I fucked that up, and he ate that. He ate that crow sandwich and moved on. But a guy to go further into your point, a guy like Josh McDaniel, who has never proven in the NFL anything of like a leader of men, a captain, a sergeant, shit like that. That's entitlement. That's a guy, one of the good old boys. Oh, he's next up. Oh yeah, well, it's his turn kind of bullshit. And we went radical. Mark Davis, in my mind's eye, went radical by saying, no, fuck that. I'm not going to do this to my daddy's organization. Hopefully he said, I'm not doing this to my organization because it's his now. But I got a special space in my heart for people that pay homage to the people that came before them. And
this is what Mark Davis this is what Mark Davis finally did.
Well timed. But he did. He ate a lot of shit in that campaign, but he should be given the due credit. There should be cuts just like that to show that, hey, through all that fire, he did smarten up. Because, he was eating it and well-deserved. And kudos to them brothers and sisters out there in the real Raider Nation that was willing to confront him, especially the ones that did it as tastefully as they could. Nobody want to be a heckler and all the rest of that shit naturally. But if it take that to get your fucking voice heard, if you love Raider Nation and you love the Black Hole and you love your silver and black enough to stand up and stand on the shield, man, damn it, I salute you. That's Max Crosby caliber shit, man. That's Coach AP caliber shit. In my mind's eye, that's Raider Man caliber shit. Fuck the rest, man. It's our fucking thing. It's our party. We can cry if we want to. I really salute each and every person in Raider Nation who's not falling into the propaganda and all this corporatization of the Raider Nation, as I'm being told they're calling it out there. It's a lot of people that's really, really disgruntled and really, really unhappy. I've done my best to push myself in and make myself available. Black Hole Ride was notorious to call me because we all people. People got real lives. And people that's out there asking stuff for me don't even really know what my real life is. They can give a damn about me. But I've made sacrifices to make sure that the Black Hole survives. I've made sacrifices to make sure that the name of Raider Nation is known all around the world. And as they want to call it, the most notorious or whatever, whatever. I don't want to shoot down slogan and shit. Shit got to get sold. But, the story ain't to be, oh my God, I'm not even going to it. Right on. Fuck the rest. Right on, John. I see you. Fuck the rest. I just say it twice.
And then there's the Raiders.
And people are losing that. They're losing that shit, making it like a cliche term because they can just push that shit in anybody's face. And oh yeah, this cute. Oh, look at this person. Hey Raiders. That's never been what it's been. Even though I know how to get that effect out of it, but there was a homegrown feeling to it. There was a family, like reunion kind of organization to it. And now it feels like a bunch of colonizers running it, for lack of a better term. And I hope that's not true. I'm hoping that some shit like this would get out and they be like, hey, man, get that Raider Man motherfucker in here. We can't let this kind of shit be getting out there. But it is
Well,
what it is. So, you know what I mean? People going to call it for what it is. That
well,
team been in Vegas, 5 years now?
I was
I
gonna say
spent.
when they moved out there, maybe a lot of people they got blinded by the lights.
No, ain't nobody blinded.
AP
No, ain't
AP
nobody
coming in.
blinded.
Well,
People that's robbing this shit is robbing this shit on purpose.
I'm talking about the, let's say, certain fans or certain people who were drawn to the Raiders didn't learn exactly who the Raiders were, but they got like moths. They just got to the light of Vegas and they thought, oh, I could do this and that because this is what they're doing. Like, well, yeah, da. But like I kept saying, in Oakland, there was a respect.
Right.
There was like an unspoken rule book that we all knew and we all followed. And we didn't cross anybody, and we didn't, whatever. Like we came in there, and anybody who had a Raider jersey on, a Raider hat, Raiders, and if you say Raider, you say it back, you high five them or whatever it is. We were all cool, and now it's kind of like we got to rebuild that, like you say, that brotherhood back again. Now we're in a new state, new city, new stadium. It's all nice or whatever.
Well, you gotta remember. Oh, go ahead. Finish. Go ahead. I
was gonna say, but you gotta remember where you came from. You have to remember where you came from. Yeah, you got this nice big old mansion.
That's the thing. I want to let Asylum jump in there.
But on that note, you gotta remember when we first moved to Vegas, what they say about we weren't going to allow costume fans into the stadium. We weren't going to fucking be tailgating, and now granted, that's all changed, and that changed before even within the first year. But they were trying to give a new look when they first moved, and they tried to.
Well, that's why I believe that they brought the Josh McDaniel motherfuckers in there. I believe that that's why he even became a thought, because their idea was to separate themselves from anything that was of Oakland. The sad part about it is they were willing to go along with all the free advertising that came with us diehards just continuing to do what we do. So it's like I use the term shunned, and I'm one of the ones that got shunned. So here you are, this party where, yeah, I'm Raider Man. I got special credentials, VIP, all. I can do whatever the fuck I want. All I gotta do is get to the party. But they don't give a shit if I come to the party or not. If I come to the party and I happen to get on the mic and do my bullhorn Raider Man shit, that's a plus because they know their party is always going to be outstanding. But I'm never going to be worth shit to them. They don't matter. If I don't come, oh yeah, well see, he's never here anyway and all the rest of that kind of bullshit because they don't know the history. They have no idea the makeup and they don't know the build and they can't reproduce it. So if they can't do it for themselves, they don't want to pay me to do it. That just rendering me worthless. As if I owe them with some kind of free service. That's the issue that I have with a person like JT, throwing his name out there. That's the problem that I have with a person like that. Somebody like me who you never know. You've never known me from shit or Shinola, but I've stepped up to make sure your career was successful. And you don't even have enough humanity in your heart to not even help a motherfucker put on my own show or just be on your show. You just help a motherfucker sell some t-shirts, just anything. There's nothing. But at the same time, you got this colonialistic kind of entitlement, like motherfucker actually owe you something. Support my show. Do this for me. I've been doing this motherfucking long. Look at me. Look at me. I don't know. You should be ashamed of yourself. You got kids. My kids older than your kids. My kids like 10 years older than your kids. Remember when your shit started coming together. Motherfuckers were struggling with their families when you was starting to get your shit started. But you got nothing for nobody else. And talk shit. Try to make new friends and make those new friends look like they better than the old friends. Only a chinsy motherfucker would do that. But that's the kind of shit that's being done. And if don't nobody stand up to it, then that's just going to be what it is. But it's sad because Vegas ain't getting what they bargained for. Vegas ain't getting what they were sold. Vegas is getting an imposter black hole. Vegas is getting an imposter Raider Nation because Raider Nation ain't being run on love and family. Raider Nation was never a corporate thing. The people that's trying to corporatize it didn't have nothing to do with even creating Raider Nation.
I mean,
That's the problem.
That's true because the Raiders is the only team, the only organization that was not ran by a oil rig guy or some big business. It started with Al Davis, who was a coach, came in, became a commissioner, came back, was GM. It was a family owned organization. Gave it to Mark Davis after he passed away. We're not
It
one of
was
those
blue
rich
collar
organizations.
all the way around.
Yeah, blue collar. You got like the Cowboys, Jerry Jones. He's an oil mogul, whatever.
Tycoon.
Yeah, tycoon. And the Patriots, Kraft, he owns whatever. I thought he owned the cheese company, whatever, Kraft cheese. That's not true.
Me too. I still fucking with mayonnaise because I thought Kraft owned it.
But you got all these teams. The NFL wants them to be owned by billionaires. And yeah, Mark Davis, now the Raiders are a $1 billion organization, but at least it stayed within the family. And he had to do what he had to do for the Raiders to compete in the NFL because they're trying to from what it sounds like, they're trying to take the team away from the Davises because they don't want any Davises to run the Raiders, which we need to figure out what happens now because Mark Davis is a little up there in years. I hope that baby that he has with that girl, hope it is his, so he can have another little mini Mark Davis or a little Mark Jr. coming out and taking over the team when it's
I'm already on the record saying I'm hoping it's true. I'm hoping they have a boy, hopefully twins, and I hope the motherfucker look just like King Al.
Come out looking like Boss Baby. So
I'm talking about just like King Al.
And
I want their first school picture. They be up there on the podium like.
He's over there doing school projects like this. All right,
okay,
guys, with the middle finger. So
okay,
and that's the thing. That's what makes Raider fans different than all the other organizations. Started from the ground up. They weren't even called. They were called the Seniors. Oakland didn't know what to call them. They had to do a contest. What should we call them? Al Davis came in. They were like what 1-9. They got like 10 games back then. 1-9 or whatever.
Oh, they had.
If there was a lady. A lady did a entry that said the Raiders, and it won. I don't know the whole story because I didn't pay too much attention to it, but I do remember something to that effect. But the main thing about it was, and this is my impression, even that move is grassroots as it get. That move is saying that's fellowship. That's saying, okay, I bought this, but it belongs to you. What are we going to do with it? And that's how Davis ran that team. So it's like, I think that's how our fans got trained to be the way that we are, because when we're passionate about something, that's how he gauged how serious it was that we were dealing with. Man, they all go crazy for that. Okay, let's give them this. And they all go crazy for that. That makes sense. Let's give them this. And this was winning shit because we're smart people. Game of football ain't that fucking hard, man. It's a pretty simple game. But if you look at the region that, okay, we're not Texas. We're not this great big ass mass of geographical land that everybody's whole focus is to, just do sports. But instead, what we are the heart of California. Oakland, California is smack dab in the middle of all this shit that they call the Bay Area. And so everybody wants to be here. And so you get all of that talent that migrates here. We're like Vegas West or, whatever, because, everybody want to be here. The weather is perfect. You get you in and out for everything. It's the top notch, all this shit or whatever. It's just that dream destination. What I believe that King Al was doing with his organization is what each and every true home or resident of California is yearned to do. And that's be a multi-property owner. I own fucking property in the hotbed of the Bay Area. I own property in Southern California. I also own property in Nevada. We moved to Timbuktu. I still got residents, Al Davis is like the ADU of NFL. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you go, Airbnb, everybody's still gonna come. Everybody want to be here. They just want to know they can get in the right code. The code is being reset, and everybody wants to be here now. It's not like they didn't want to be here before, even through the mess. But now it makes sense to be a Raider. And so we're
I'll
going
say
to have an
this.
influx of talent. We're going to have an influx of motherfuckers coming to this motherfucker like a pilgrimage. And Raider fans deserve more in their sports coverage of their fucking team.
I'll say this. Al Davis had a certain view of his team, what he wanted out of them, and AP's bringing it back. And we're going to show a little clip of exactly what AP's bringing back.
We do believe that this is a game psychologically of intimidation and of fear. I don't mean cowardly fear, but fear. And I think this, that somewhere within the first 5 to 10 plays of the game, the other team's quarterback must go down. And he must go down hard. That alone sets a tempo for a game.
That alone. That's our standard. That's our fucking identity, man.
And you notice
Blue
how when
collar
AP took
football.
over, when AP took over last year, the Raiders got more aggressive, but we had less flags. So that old Raider way still does work. They were more aggressive, they were making more plays, they were being more intimidating, but we didn't have a lot of flags. They're saying the game is all soft and everything, you can't do this and that. How was the Raiders not have any flags? He had coached 2 games last year where we had no penalties. So that Raider way, that old mystique, still does work, and AP is bringing that back. Now he has a full off season. Now he has some other coaches that he can lean on because there were no other head coaches on that staff when McDaniels, and his coaching staff. There was no other coach on there that had head coaching experience. Rob Ryan, maybe. I mean, he didn't have head coaching experience, but he has a lot of years. But there was nobody else on that coaching staff that had head coaching experience. AP took over, did what he did, got the job. Now he has a Super Bowl winning coach and Tom Coughlin that he can consult in. He's not actually on the staff, but he has him to consult in. You have
Marvin Lewis.
You have Ray Lewis, who designed.
Marvin Lewis.
I'm sorry, Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was on this squad when I was talking about Marvin Lewis.
We just say it's Adam Squirrel.
we have Marvin Lewis, who was the architect of one of the best defenses ever made in the 2000 Ravens, which we went against and we did beat, but they took that flag back on Andre Rison in the back corner. That should not have been a pass interference on the offense, and of course that Saragusa hit on Gannon should have been flagged. But whatever, But then you have Philbin, offensive guy, help with the offense. With Luke Getsy, who knows, who's familiar with the way Adams plays, because Adams, we had him in the last 2 years, probably couldn't beat Devontae Adams in that McDaniel system. So you have someone there. So he's bringing that back, intimidation, run heavy. So
I want to say this, and maybe it's just a quote or a term that you're picking up out there, but it really pumps my nads every time I hear, like this outdated claim for the Raider way and real Raider football and all that shit. Football in itself is a game of standard. Typically, if you have, and this leads back to one of the clips that Asylum could have actually put on, and one of the clips that Al Davis has out there, where he talks about how the model and how he built the team. It was formed after them super fast ass fucking Dodgers and them great big motherfuckers out there, the Yankees and shit. It's big power at extreme levels, put in the right places. And it's always been a standard. So when I hear people try to diminish what Raider football has always been, yeah, maybe it migrated off of that way over time, with the aging ailments, Al Davis and some of those years, because he had some pretty bad years too, God rest King Al, and just, everything that was caught up in like more energy toward court than field. We lost a lot in terms of football legacy as an organization. We as the fans did our best to uphold that standard and keep that, playing Jermaine and, eyes on the main thing. Now that standard is being brought back to us. What I'm suggesting is that we don't move our standard. We set the standard. Why would we change? We the fucking thermostat. We set at our temperature, and that's what we're going to be. The team is working its way back up to the heat in our oven. So let's welcome them. Let's bring that shit in. Let's stoke their fire and bring that shit in. But poo-pooing all of this crap and regurgitating all these stupid ass statistics and drumming our team down and making it seem like you some authentic fucking Raider fan just because you got access to be at every fucking thing. Call it lucky at best. But it's shitty content and it's lackluster Raider fandom, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Maybe I'm bitter because I just feel like I can be doing a better job. But I know what this thing was created to be, and that's not hitting the standard. And it's a shame that people up there with all this money, only really give a shit about making money. Let's make Raider Nation great again. Can I say that?
Yes, you can.
Let's make Raider Nation great again. Hey, it is election year, so let's make Raider Nation great again. On that note, that's it. That's a good note. That's
Hey,
a
right
good
on,
note to
John.
end
Yeah,
on
I
right
see
there.
you, brother.
On that note, I don't even know what we're gonna talk about next week, but we are gonna have a show about Al Davis on the 3rd because his birthday's on the 4th. Of course, Freedom, Independence Day. That is Al Davis's birthday. I believe 1929 when he was born. So yeah. This show was about addressing the Hater Nation, and Raider Man just
You
came
like
in.
that, Anna?
Raider Man came in with the chair, with the table, off the ladder,
Ringside bell.
off the top of the cage,
I do my
and
George Animal.
that, and
And I got
that
me
is that is
Yeah.
how we do this show. We appreciate everybody who was watching and appreciate you guys for being patient when I accidentally, and I know if Homer is watching, he can laugh at this.
Shout out, Homer. Love you, brother.
When I accidentally unplugged the show live from explosion number two, I think, no, number two, the second one. I accidentally unplugged the show, not realizing he was still recording. So I did it again. It happens, whatever. But we want to thank Raider Man for always being part of the show. Coming in, you can't stop Raider Man, okay? You can't stop Raider Man. Let's remember also, if you're watching the show, and we did get 3 new subscribers, we appreciate that. But remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, on Facebook, go to YouTube, The Cage Match Show, type it into the search. Every Wednesday, we're on at 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 Central. That's where Asylum's at. And 8 Eastern for the rest of you. We cover the whole United States because that's what Raider Nation is, all United States. Watch, like, and subscribe.
We're worldwide.
Our shows come on. We are, what's that? Say that again?
We are worldwide.
Worldwide Raider Nation. And also,
I'm trying to teach Zato.
Sorry. Sorry. Wait. Yeah.
I'm just muscling in, Zato, man. We got to get puppy affection. Zato ass getting big.
Yeah, is he on that Alzado vitamins?
Nah, we got him on that W.
On that W right there. Remember, go to w.gg in the discount code, put Cage Match one word to get 10% off of your complete order. I have my W cup over here.
You big W.
When you think of wins, you think of dubs. When you think of dubs, think of W. energy like Max Crosby. Shouts out again to Fabian the Compa. Go to his website, RaiderNationForLifer.com, RN, the number 4, LIFER.com. He has some great merch, and like I say, I always wear hats from his collection. And thank you for Fabian. We have the koozies. He made these for us. I have the lanyards. Oh, we got the lanyards. I gotta
I
send
got mine
you some.
yesterday.
I gotta send you some, Raider Man. And
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm over here like,
this was we made this over here.
nice.
My fiance, she got the stickers, or I gotta figure out the girl's name that we got the stickers from. Shot glasses, which Asylum has, so I gotta send some of that to you, Raider Man. But thank you. And also, oh yeah, we can't forget
Shameless outplay. Oh yeah, it's perfect timing. That's like a segue.
RaiderMan19.com. Go on there, check his stuff out, check his merch out, and his podcast is going to launch. You want to be there when it takes off again for this next coming season. And like we always say, you hear it every single time at the beginning of the show. It's like our national anthem. This is what we go and salute to, because he says, in the oath,
I am a Raiders fan.
I love it. Shouts out to the good people that support the Raider Man from Richmond podcast, man. Hit up the page, go on with drop down, support that Raider Oath merch. I really need to get the sales on the things up so I can have the money to back up my guy. My producer is excellent, but he's a young man that owns his own stuff. And of course, this kind of content takes money to put together. It's not easy and it's not cheap. So, big shouts out to Asylum and Savage for always having me on, supporting your friendly neighborhood, propagating the Raider Oath in all the proper ways, and getting that push to get me out there to the torch. But also keep supporting that Raider Man from Richmond podcast, because we're gonna be doing some things on together. That's just gonna set us apart from anybody else in this world. Nobody could bring Black Hole and Raider Nation like us. And you can be here, be here, and have it first. Tell a friend.
Well, like you had referenced a Star Wars. You had used a Star Wars reference with C-3PO as the king of the Ewoks. Right now it's Attack of the Clones, but what you're talking about is Return of the Jedi, and that's what's going to happen. We are the Jedi, and we are returning to take over the Death Star, even though they blew it up. But we'll take over the Death Star, and even though that we are the dark side, I don't know, it's all backwards, whatever. But yes, so.
Hey, I try to tell them like Yoda told Luke, man, they don't believe. That's why they fail. They got to tap this motherfucker back into the main vein, baby. Appreciate the shit while it's still alive. We ain't going to, every day ain't guaranteed. You got your friendly neighborhood, you got the Asylum, you got Savage, we got the OG mentor. I always got a lady in line for my dog, man. I'm looking forward to a project that I can bring him on and have him bring this thing back to the way it's supposed to be. Paying homage to Black Hole Rob, to the memories of Black Hole Dave Monzo, paying homage and giving respect out to Queen Rachel. Just so many different layers of this onion that need to be addressed, and they're all important. So, if real Raider Nation is what's important to you, if you truly bleed silver and black, just know that you hold all the power. Your voice is the most important one. Use that superpower for good. Support your cage match.
Off the side of the turnbuckle.
Royal Rumble. I just smacked down King Kong Bundy with that one.
Asylum, any last words?
No, I think we said enough on the two different versions of the show tonight.
Like the one and the two.
All right. With that, we want to thank everyone for watching.
Raider hate,
and
just know that what's coming is coming, and ain't nobody prepared for it.
Oh yeah.
Nobody.
Oh yeah. Just get ready, Raider Nation. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh, yeah.
We want to thank everyone for watching the show and the 3 new subscribers that we've seen pop up. We appreciate you. With that said, until next week, Raider Nation, and thank you, Raider Man, once again, and a little puppy Asylum. I'm sorry, Asylum. Alzado, because Asylum goes the same. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean.
Zato, say what's happening, man. I heard Zato pumping up the ratings.
You just talking to, hey, see, hold on. We got before, oh, damn it. Sorry.
Chupacabra, aliens, turnbuckles, and the Raiders. It all come together when you're over there in Area 51.
Nice.
Thank you, Space Beast, for shouting out the Chupacabras every single time. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Just for Space Beast, we got to talk about
nice
Chupacabras when the time comes. The conspiracies, we got to keep it on the down low until we get our hats on.
Exactly.
And make sure you chase down your 10%, you big dubbies.
All right, everybody. See you guys next week. We end every show like we always do with a word from Raider Mail, a.k.a. Coach Wallace from my old high school football and KDO that was in the comments. He knows. We all came from the same high school. Shouts out to everybody who was on in the chats who came back for part 2 of our show. And I guess that's it. All right.
Shouts out to the original Raider Rob.
Take care, everybody. Until next week. Oh, yeah.
All you other NFL teams, your tailgates are weak. Your teams are weak. We might be down right now, but it doesn't take away the history. And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history of who the fuck you playing for and where the fuck you're playing. Damn it. Oh, and by the way, I won my last cage fight. Again, I'm still undefeated. And you NFL motherfuckers out there that you think you want some, come on and get some anytime.